Welcome back, friends. Now let's take a look at the only mildly tolerable character in all of Weiss. Okay, so right off the bat, yes, those are claws. Ken's weapons are fucking claws. And this may not be as annoying as magical wires, but this has to officially be the dumbest weapon in all of Weiss. I mean, why? Just, why? Do you feel as insulted about this as I do? It's actually not supposed to occur to us to think that claws versus guns is completely fucking stupid. Ugh. Alright, I gotta warn you, aside from the weapons, I don't really have a lot to say about Ken. And it's not because I really like the guy and don't want to say anything about him, it's just that he's only really in 3 episodes in the entire fucking series. And one of those episodes is actually more about this guy than Ken. And trust me, the less I say about this motherfucker, the better. Oh, Ken does make appearances in pretty much every episode, but he doesn't really do anything. Character development and significant screen time literally grind to a halt for this dude after episode 5. Unfortunately, like most of these characters, Ken doesn't really have any reason to be in Weiss. His backstory is that he used to be a pro soccer player in the J-League, but he got kicked out for accidentally drinking some water laced with LSD.
Yes, ordinary water, laced with nothing more than a few spoonfuls of LSD.
And I guess once you get kicked out of the J-League, you're completely fucked, because Ken apparently is immediately forced to turn to a life of murder and crime. I don't know whose brilliant idea it was to put a world-famous athlete in an organization of assassins, by the way, but that's fucking Weiss for you. Anyways, it turns out Ken's childhood friend Case was the one who spiked Ken's drink because of some gambling ring. We find all of this out along with Ken in the 4th episode of the show when Case shows up on Weiss's hit list and Ken delays the mission to question him. Now, the fact that Case was involved in the gambling ring isn't exactly unpredictable, but it isn't blatantly obvious, and for this series that's a huge fucking improvement on anything we've seen so far. And that's mainly because even if we know what's going on before Ken does, his actions make some sort of sense. Case tells Ken that his current boss was the leader of the gambling ring and that he's trying to get information on what happened to Ken all those years back. And since Case is still one of Weiss's targets, Ken blows him off, as any sane human being would do, and chooses to trust his childhood friend. He is immediately violently gunned down. Well, not immediately, of course. First, Case has to spout off his evil plan.
He was the one who came up with the idea of gambling on soccer all those years ago. But I was the one who decided to put the drugs in your drink to throw the game. Who would have thought that you'd come in handy again? I was second in command of the Creepers, but with Koga out of the way, now I'll be the boss. But if they found out that I killed him, there are some in this gang that would come after me. But of course, if you killed Koga, that would change everything. And now you will claim responsibility for Koga's death.
Blah blah blah, gunned down. Yeah, so I guess Ken is really dead, huh? Oh. So I guess this asshole never heard of taking a pulse and then shooting the fucker with a bulletproof vest in the forehead.
Why don't you die, Ken? Bulletproof vest.
Are you kidding? Honest to fuck, is this really supposed to surprise us? And if this asshole is just gonna die anyway and Ken's completely fine and there was no tension whatsoever in his death, what the fuck was the point of changing locations like this? Okay, so pretty much everything about Ken is just as dumb as any other character, but he is by far the least offensively so. And I'm pretty sure that's because he just isn't around that much. You appreciate him being gone. He doesn't need to be in the 3 episodes he's in, because none of these episodes need to exist at all, but those 3 episodes aren't nearly as torturous as the rest of the series. I guess what makes Omi, Aya, and Yoji so repellent is that we're forced to sit through hours of boring, stilted, repetitive bullshit that stretches maybe 5 episodes worth of shitty material into 25 episodes. So, if you're a really sick motherfucker, you might be wondering what actually happens in these 25 episodes. Well, I'm sure as shit not going to go through every single episode in great detail, but I think it's worthwhile to do at least one. So let's take a look at the 2nd episode in the series. And yeah, I know it seems weird to start on the 2nd episode instead of the 1st, but the 1st episode is so completely redundant and useless that the 2nd episode actually works better as an introduction to the series. Yep, we're opening at Magic Bus Hospital. You can almost smell the stupid. We see here someone putting flowers in someone else's hospital room. Oh, good to know that was important. Alright, so this is a flower shop where 4 heroes work, and check out the stellar bit of dialogue.
When the 4 of them are together, it's like the sun coming out after the rain.
That's silly. You can't change the weather.
It's a fucking analogy, you douchebag!
Has anyone seen Aya? I wonder where he is. The store is packed.
He's usually so reliable, but sometimes he just disappears, you know?
I am also providing exposition.
What's special about that? He's probably sleeping.
Gosh, he's so scary!
Oh my god, shut up! Who the fuck would care about anything that's going on in this scene? And if you thought that shit was bad, these girls immediately start providing us with all sorts of useless information in what is pretty much the laziest attempt at characterization I've ever witnessed.
First, we have Ken, born December 23rd, blood type B. I heard he's a great soccer player. Next, we have Yoji, born March 3rd, blood type AB. I heard he's always out partying. He always seems sleepy.
The schedule is always posted on that bulletin.
Born February 29th, blood type
You never
O.
look at it
He's the
because you
responsible
always
one.
stay out.
Does anyone else find it disturbing that this chick knows their blood types? And yeah, I know why it's included here. I just want to know what the fuck these stalkers have planned next. Are they gonna start swiping stool samples?
Could you make this plant into a wreath for me?
No, I can't. That just bloomed this morning.
Yeah, duh.
Thank you very much. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Alright, so now we cut back to Magic Bus Hospital. It's really good to know that that scene was pointless too. Aya hangs out with his comatose sister, because that's all he ever fucking does. What? Okay, and now apparently we have the title of the episode, which naturally has nothing to do with anything that's about to happen here. So as Aya's leaving the hospital, he meets a little blind girl who's waiting for her brother, and I dare you to watch this next part without laughing. Anyway, turns out this little girl's been waiting for her brother for quite a while, but he's disappeared or something, and who the fuck cares? Aren't there supposed to be assassins in this show at some point? When Aya finally leaves the hospital, he almost gets mowed down by a car and has a flashback attack. And then this. It might seem like this show is jumping around fairly quickly, but I assure you it is not. We're about 6.5 minutes into a 22-minute episode here, and this is literally all that's happened. You might be wondering how that can possibly be when nothing has fucking happened at all, but that's Weiss. At least, one solid third of this show is nothing but the cheapest, most apathetic padding I've endured in years. And I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan, so I think I know a thing or two about fucking pointless padding. Anyway, Persia contacts Weiss in the basement of the flower shop and gives him a mission to assassinate the leader of an underground gambling ring that uses people in a game of human chess. So I guess we are going for realism in this series after all. He then gives him the same line he always gives him at the end of his little transmissions.
Hunters of the night, deny these evil beasts their tomorrow.
Deny these evil beasts their tomorrow? Okay, I don't know if that just doesn't translate well or what, but whatever the case, it's gotta be the dumbest catchphrase of all time. So Manx, the chick with the ridiculous hair, asks if they're in or out, and check out Yoji's reaction.
I'm not interested in cases without damsels in distress.
Douche! Oh yeah, naturally the members of Weiss get to pick and choose their missions. The show was made in 1998, if you can believe it, and I guess back then the business of assassinating wasn't exactly a client's market. Anyway, Omi raises a perfectly valid point that they can't make out the target's face in the picture, but Manx basically tells them to get their asses in the line of fire and figure it out at one of the human chess matches. For information, she's got dick all, aside from the fact that the target has a birthmark on his forehead that apparently glows when he gets excited. Because that's how birthmarks work, don't you know? So I guess everyone but Yoji goes to the next tournament, because if you've got a penis, Yoji doesn't give a rat's ass if you live or die. And here we're treated to about a solid minute of bullshit padding before a chess match finally starts. And just in case you're wondering if the people running the death matches are evil, we're given even more filler as they watch an utterly bland and forgettable fight to the death. Okay, and what about this is chess?
They give weapons to desperate men, turn them into killers, and then set them on each other.
Yeah, thanks, Tips. That certainly is the situation.
How else could you possibly follow the highly cerebral storyline?
So we immediately cut to another death match, and after about another minute of padding, we cut to the basement where Aya has apparently entered the tournament, because why not, I guess.
Do you have any questions?
I don't.
You're either brave or stupid.
Stupid. Anyway, one of the victims' bodies gets dragged out, and what do you know, it's that little blind girl's brother.
Out of curiosity, who was he?
I'm totally not an undercover assassin or anything. Man, this is like one of those old Sailor Moon episodes where they need to find some kind of holder of a crystal or something, and it would always wind up being the new friend they just happened to make earlier that day. The Sailor Moon was at least entertaining. Yeah, so some dude starts freaking out and decides that he really doesn't want to be in a human chess match to the death after all, but the woman who totally isn't Weiss's real target shoots him. You know, in case he thought she was a good guy or something.
Hey, who are you? What are you doing here?
Oh, please forgive me, sir. I'm new here.
Yeah, I'm totally not an undercover assassin or anything. Fuck, are you kidding me? Could they be any worse at this?
It should be about 10 minutes before Aya is up to fight. That means we should plan to make...
Why bother figuring out exactly when he's going to fight? Just so long as he doesn't lose, right?
But they can use any weapon they want to. There's no way even Aya would win if someone were to pull a gun on him in the ring.
I hadn't thought of that. Should we make a plan B?
I'm one step ahead of you. I already have another plan in the works. I'll talk to you later. See ya.
Oh my god! I don't even know where to start with this shit. It doesn't occur to anyone until this very moment that someone might use a gun in a death match? Omi just saw someone using a fucking gun! Oh, and I love Ken's concern here. Who the fuck cares when Aya's death match starts? And why in holy hell is Omi keeping his plan a secret from the other members of his assassin group? How the fuck are these idiots not dead yet?
Under no circumstances can this mission fail. It's too important. I'll activate the Bombay Initiative.
And what's the Bombay Initiative? Oh, of course, exploding flowers. Is the episode over yet? Well, no. First, Omi starts hollering over the loudspeakers for their target to identify himself, blowing up more shit as he does so. Someone steps forward and Omi moves in for the kill.
Damn it! I can't get a clear shot from here.
Yeah, too bad you're using a huge, unwieldy crossbow, eh, Omi? If you had a gun, this wouldn't be a fucking problem. Well, of course, the real target orders the games to continue for no reason at all, and wouldn't you know it, it happens to be Aya's match next. What are the odds? No stupid knights can't move that way, only in an L. Well, despite his cheating ways, Aya lays waste to his opponents with a stick, and then finally clues in that what's-her-name is the person Weiss was sent there to kill. He lobs a stick at her, which leaves her mildly surprised, and she completely destroys a chessboard with a magic chessboard destroying button. Aya's left hanging, and this is so fucking boring, can't you just hurry up and die? For fuck's sake. Okay, Aya uses some kind of magic wire that I guess he swiped from Yoji's locker. He swings toward her, noticing the man that hit his sister in the crowd. Yes, in the crowd. His big plan was to assassinate this woman in a giant building full of witnesses. Worst assassin ever. Anyway, the target runs and Omi almost manages to finish her off, but Aya leaps out of nowhere, shrieking at the dude who hit his sister, completely fucking their mission up. He's far too incompetent to actually finish the job though, so dude gets away. And Aya's fuck-up deepens when their target pulls a gun on him, and because he's too fucking stupid to lose a sword and grab a Glock, this is a pretty serious problem. But of course, Omi jumps in and saves his ass, and Aya finally completes her stupid mission. But then he sees a helicopter approaching, and instead of grabbing one of the many firearms strewn around him, he bolts for the roof with his fucking sword. He tries to murder dude in cold blood, but Ken finally shows up and tells him to stop because the mission is complete. Well, nice of him to show up after everyone else has already done all of the work, the cock. I wonder if he got paid for this one. Okay, seriously, is this a proper way to use a katana? What's a sword made out of anyway? Fucking adamantium? It drives itself so deep into the concrete that it stands up.
Mission report. Bombay. 2200. Abyssinian. He's holding a grudge.
That's your report? That's the only thing of interest that happened tonight? Well, I guess it's interesting when you've got a throbbing man-crush on Aya like Omi does. Then, this, I guess. And we cut back to the blind kid in the hospital whose brother is dead and whose medical bills will now go unpaid. Great. And that's it. There's an episode of Weiss. Aren't you glad you saw that? Now, I bet you're thinking that's the worst this show has to offer. Friends, I've barely even started.